Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You are all welcome once again to our graphic design class. So today we are going to be looking at logo design, brand identity. So my name is Tamon Jirune and I will be your mentor throughout this session. So before you carry out any design, before you carry out a logo design, you need to understand the fundamentals or what it takes to come out with a perfect logo. So that's what we are going to be looking at throughout this session. All right, now when we talk about brand identity, now what makes up a business? All right, for your business to be able to be recognized, all right, that business needs to be branded. All right, so to look at your business and how it's supposed to be branded, there are some items which we need to look at. All right, so your brand, the brand of every business is the trait it shows. The business card makes up the brand of a business. The website makes up the brand of a business. Right? The store makes up the brand of a business. The invoice makes up the brand of a business. Emails. So all these things put together, the services, advertisement, looks and feels, the logos, products, billboard. These are things that make up your brand. All right, so the brand of a business is what actually advertises that business. But you need to understand that a logo is one of the most essential and one of the most important items when it comes to business branding. All right, so the logo outstands itself amongst all the other brands. All right, so when you're thinking about building your business, the first thing that should come into your mind is to design a logo for your business, because that is what represents that business. If anybody sits and wants to think about an iPhone, the first thing that comes to the person's mind is the logo of an iPhone, which means that if I go to the market to get an iPhone, then I should be able to see that logo of iPhone on that particular phone. Same with Samsung, same with any other particular product in the market. All right, so that is one of the first thing that represents every business, your logo, and that's what we are going to be looking at today. Now if you look at this slide carefully, you're going to see several logos that have been designed. All right, so we have logos which you can actually recognize, while some you cannot recognize them. All right, this is actually the brand, the first aspect of brand identity. All right, while important, your logo simply represents the collective experience your customer has with all these brands' touch point. So we are simply saying that a logo is what embodies all the other brands. All right. Once I'm able to see a particular logo of a business, I should be able to capture all the other brands in my mind. All right. So a logo is the point of entry to the brand. This definition was given by Milton Glasser, who is a graphic designer. You can Google about him and you're going to learn a lot from him as well. So please, what I'm simply trying to say here is that a logo is a central point. It is the main focus. All right. Now, before you design, let's say, a business card, before you design, let's say, a flyer, before you design, let's say, maybe a poster or a brochure, you need a logo. A logo needs to be part of that design. That's why we say it is the main aspect when it comes to brand identity. So before you design your logo, you need to understand what your brand represents. Now, when we talk about branding in general, we are trying to understand, we are trying to see what your business represents. All right. Anything which you are selling out there or any service you're rendering, it falls under a particular category. For example, when you're selling, if you are the owner of, let's say, if you're the owner of, let's say, Toyota, we know that Toyota actually falls under cars. All right, so there's a particular brand to which that particular product falls. All right, so we have Rolex, we have Timex, we have S-Watch. These are all watches. All right, but these particular companies, their logos represent something. All right, for example, Rolex, we all know that if you have a Rolex watch, it therefore means you are striving towards what? Luxury. Anybody who owns a Rolex watch, it means that person has actually spent a lot before getting that particular watch. All right, then we equally have Timex. it is what? Dependability. All right. And then we have S watch, which is about creativity and fun. And most of the times what they produce are mostly sport watch and things like that. All right. So these are all brand identities, and these are things you need to understand. All right. Now, if you look at the watches carefully, all right, when you look at a luxury watch, for example, Rolex, you discover that it is maybe built with maybe diamond, golds, and things like that. The elements which have been put together to design that watch are quite expensive. That's why we consider Rolex as a very, very expensive watch. All right. Then we have the dependability. It's striving to make you understand that you depend. It is trying to give you it's trying to pass out an information. For example, people may get Rolex watch not just because they want to look at their time, or maybe at time maybe to verify if the time at this particular moment, but no, they just want to get the Rolex watch maybe for luxury, right? They get it just for luxury. But dependability, the Timex watch is actually there to help you. All right. For example, if you are on a particular race, if you want to beat up a particular time, maybe you need to get to this particular point within seconds or minutes. That's when you see you are able, you go for this particular watch. All right. Then we have creativity as well. Creativity means it's just one kind of a design, which is normally does not have to deal with some of these diamonds or golds or something flashy. All right, you just want to go for creativity. So that's the reason why you see this particular one. You see the design is different. So all these companies have their own way of looking at things. They have their own ways of hitting the market. All right, and all this boils down to their logos. All right, so we need to understand that. Now, brands help consumers get through the proliferation of choice is available in every product and service category. So what we are trying to say here is that the brand of a business tries to differentiate the market. All right, there are people who want to go for those who are into those who are very wealthy will want to go for luxury. All right, those who have a particular task to follow, they want to go for the dependability. All right, and then for those who just love creativity, they will go for the latter. So that's what we are trying to say when it comes to brand identity. So once you understand your brand, once you understand your business, once you understand the brand of a client, then you are good to go. You are ready to actually carry out the design of that client or for yourself. All right. Think about images, colors, and styles that might represent the ideas your brand stands for. When we talk about colors, it is very, very important in graphic design because there are some logos which when you're designing, you need to focus on the particular color or the images of that particular brand or that particular business. For example, if you are going for a corporate, if you are designing a logo for a corporate business, there are some colors which are designated for those type of businesses, for example, blue, black. So when you are designing a logo for a fashion business, we have colors that are designated for that particular business. So you need to try as much as possible to understand that, and we are going to look at that when we are actually designing logos. Now, a few examples: McDonald's sells hamburgers and other fast food, right? Notice that their logo doesn't include any food items. The golden arches are bright and friendly. They have come to represent quality and consistency and fast food. All right. Then we equally have Merrill Lynch. It's a financial institution that stands for stability and growth. All right. So they use a bull as their icon, which represents strength, growth, and a rising market. So the name of your business as well, when you give a name of your business, always try as much as possible to focus your logo by looking at the name given to your business, or what you are striving, what you are trying to achieve at the end, or what the client is trying to achieve at the end. We are going to look at that when we'll be designing a particular logo known as alpha logo. All right, that particular logo in terms of alpha, you're going to notice why we decided to pick out the items which we use for that particular logo. Now, Nike sells shoes and other sporting goods, right? However, their logo doesn't include shoes or sports equipment. I hope you know that. Instead, the Nike swoosh is a stylish wing representing what? Speed and victory. Two brand ideas that Nike is associated with. That's the reason why you see for most of, when you hear about Nike, it just have to do with sporting activities and things like that. When you look at these leather shoes, it's difficult for you to see maybe Nike or dresses, maybe suits that are produced by Nike, but Nike is mostly about sport and what? Speed. That's the reason why when you're going for sports, maybe to play football or for running, you need to go for the Nike brand, all right? Anything that has to do with Nike, because that is their domain. So that's the reason why you see they had to pick up this particular logo. So incidentally, the first time Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, saw the swoosh logo, he said, well, I don't love it, but maybe it will grow on me. So this is to tell you that as a graphic designer, sometimes you don't need to listen to your clients. You propose what you think is good for the business. Because I believe before now, if somebody represented that particular logo to you, you won't like it. You want something which is flashy, you pick things from here. Some people go to design logos, they take the logo, they go and get, let's say for a fashion, someone who sells dresses, they go and take dresses and just fill the logo and make it look more complicated. The client will love it, but that logo will not last. Honestly, the logo will not last. So that's the reason why you need to go for something which is very, very unique and can last for a very long time. All right, now we have different types of icons which I think some of them we are familiar with. We have icons like abstract emblems. These are logo types, characters, combination, hidden. These are things we are going to look at when we are going to see these things when we are looking at the types of logos. All right, so these are various logos which you've seen. I think you've come across them. All right, and each of these logos there's a reason behind the design of these logos, and we are going to look at them as we move ahead. Now, what image or icon can be associated with your brand? That's the next thing we'll be looking at. Now, what about fonts? Like icons, the font in a logo what communicate different things. Now, when you look at a particular logo, all right, once a logo has been designed by a professional, that professional knows what he's trying to get from that. Now, when we talk about Disney, creativity and fun. Now, Disney, the logo, you will notice that it's just the words, all right? But the font which was used there is somehow creativity and what fun. When you look at the logo, there is some joy that rekindles in you, all right? Because you know you have to get maybe something funny from there, or creativity, or something that begins well, that maybe may begin very, very sad, but end up in joy, all right? So that's what this thing is all about. Then Amazon, all right? They just make a very friendly logo, approachable, all right? Now the Wall Street Journal, a newspaper, is all about trust. And you see their logo is very, very simple. Then we have Greenpeace. Greenpeace, one thing they made it very, very, made the logo very unique is that they used the color, the green color, and green signifies what? Natural, all right? So non-authoritarian. So these are things when you are designing a logo, you need to sit down, you reflect and see if you are actually getting the point. Now, what ideas should the fonts use for your brand represent? So what about colors? This is a very, very important and significant aspect when you're designing your logo. And this color should guide you, all right? When you're using blue signifies maybe tradition, safety, calm, and what? Loyalty. Green, health, natural growth, freshness, and what? Money, all right? Yellow signifies happiness, fun, energy. Brown signifies responsibility, security, home. Orange, enthusiasm, creativity, action. So these are colors which please try as much as possible when you're designing your logo. You come back to this particular slide and try to see if what you are doing is actually in accordance to the laws of designing a logo. All right, so what color best represents the ideal your brand represent. We've just looked at that. All right, so now you're ready to put in all these together. All right, and we are going to look at some of the tips to great logo. So top tips for great logo design. This is what we are going to be looking at in our next session.